Good afternoon, everyone. I am Erna May Rabanes, and I am going to report Chapter 4, which is Indexing and Filing. Indexing and Filing. So, what is indexing and filing? Indexing is the process of determining the name, subject, or some other caption under which the document are to be filed. Therefore, an index indicates or points out the exact place of keeping a document. Single letters in business and organization names are indexed as written. If single letters are separated by spaces, index each letter as a separate unit. So here are some rules of indexing and filing. Rule number 1, individual names. In this rule, the correct indexing arrangement is the surname should be in the unit 1 followed by the first name and followed by the second name, but if there is a middle initial should be in the unit 3. So for example, Ryan James Bacchus. So his surname is Bacchus, and it is said in the rule that the surname should always be part of the unit 1. And for example, there is no middle initial but it has his second name. So his second name should be indexed in the unit 3. But if there is a middle initial, it should be indexed is in unit 3 also. Rule number 2, single surnames or initials. Rule number 2, sometimes stated as nothing comes before something. When the surname used alone, the surname should be ahead of. For example, if sa name kay surname rang gigamit, so it is always indexed in the unit 1. For example, David. But if in the but it is stated in the name E. Michael David, the surname should always be ahead, followed by the E and his name Michael. Rule number 3, surnames prefixes. A surname is considered as a part of a surname and not as a separate indexing unit. Surname prefixes include the, des, do, fits, and others. In this rule, prefix is considered as part of the surname and not as a separate indexing unit. For example, Mary L. Lafuente. So, ang iyahang surname is 2 words, but it is said in the rule number 3 that it should not be separated. So, when indexing in unit 1, the correct indexing arrangement in unit 1, you should put the surname Lafuente. You will not going to separate the surnames. Rule number 4, married women. The legal name of married women is one considered in indexing. Legally, the only part of a man's name that the woman assumes she marries is his surname. In this rule, the surname of woman is her husband's surname. Her legal name will be either her first and her husband's surname or her first name, middle name, and her husband's surname. From the word married woman, it is considered that if a woman is already married, he should only use his husband's surname. For example, Mrs. Just B and Maria Clara. she's going to use her husband's surnames Uy, Just, B, and in indexing in Unit 2, her first name, and lastly, second name. Rule number 5. Firm names. From the word firm, it is to change. So, in rule number 5, the name of firms and institutions are indexed in the same order and it cannot be changed. Does not include name of an individual. So, for example, Atlantic Food Distributors. If what is written in the name, the correct indexing arrangement in Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3 is it should be sundon ra ang kung unsa ang naa sa name. Rule number 6. Firm names including complete individual names. Firm names, if in the rule number 5 does not include the name of an individual, it is different from rule number 6 because it includes everything, and if the name of individuals are included in the surname of an individual is considered as first unit. The second unit, then the rest of the firm name is considered as the third unit. So for example, Andrea Taborada Flower Shop. So the name of the owner is kanang na appeal na siya. So Taborada is indexed in the Unit 1, her surname, followed by her first name, and followed by the firm names. Rule number 7. Hyphenated names. In a hyphenated firm name, the individual surnames are indexed as separate units, but the hyphenated surnames of an individual is considered as a single unit. From the word hyphenated, it joins two parts of a word that allows the word to break at the end of the line. So, in this rule, it applies when a hyphenated surname of an individual. For example, Red Baliard Markets. So, ang iyang surname is hyphenated, so the correct indexing arrangement is it should be separated unit. Rule number 8. Abbreviations. Known abbreviations are indexed as though they were spelled in full. In the rule number 8, the abbreviations are indexed by writer its full words. So example, this one, Ideal Plastics Corp. So it means Corp. In the correct indexing arrangement is you should write the full letters, not the abbreviations only. So it should be Ideal Plastics Corporations. Next is rule number 9. Articles, conjunctions, and prepositions. Articles, conjunctions, and prepositions such as and, of, or, to, by, the, for, and the praise that are considered units, therefore disregarded in indexing. On filing cards and folders, the words are written in normal sequence, but when there is a word in the first of a name, it is placed in the end of a parenthesis, but if it comes up in the middle, it must not be more but still in parenthesis. So, for example, B. Malcolm Bros and Company. So, we're going to only copy this one. But if the music Taylor, so it is said in the rules na if the word the comes first, it is considered that we'll put it in the last. So for example, music Taylor's, then parentheses the. Rule number 10. One or two words. When the same name may be written either as a one word, two words, or a hyphenated word, it is considered as one indexing unit. So, it means na, for example, two words siya, but feel nimo kay kanang murag connected siya sa isa ka word, it is considered as part as index in the unit 1. For example, Northwest Produce Market. So we all know that Northwest is kanang sumpay jud na siya. So it is considered part of unit 1 even though na siya hyphenated siya, maor same ra Japon. Rule number 11. Compound geographic names. The part of compound geographic names are indexed as separate units except when the first part of the name is not an English word, such as El Paso. In rule number 11, the compound geographic separate unit, but if the part of the name is not English, it should be indexed in one unit. This rule said nga kung dili English ang word, kay considered na siya as one unit. So for example, kami siya. And English words mani tanan. So if sample, New Orleans Galleries Inc. So in correct indexing arrangement na Inc, you should always write it in a word like New Orleans Galleries Incorporated. Rule number 12. Titles or degrees. Titles or degrees of individuals are not considered as units and are therefore disregarded in indexing. When writing, filing cards, or folders, place the title or degree in parentheses after the name. Tries that denote seniority, such as junior, senior, second, are placed parentheses in the end of the name but are considered as indexing units. So for example, if ang name is naa siya like junior or senior, kay it is always indexed in the last unit. So for example, Jesse M. Buendia Jr. So his junior should be in the last unit and it is put in a parenthesis. But if his name is Dr. Wells Beverage Company, the doctor should be spelled out like Dr. Wells Beverage Company. Excuse me. Rule number 13. Possessives. When the name ends with apostrophe S, the S is disregarded, but when the name ends with S apostrophe, the part of the name is included in indexing. So for example, Powers Oil Corporation, so it is apostrophe power is power apostrophe S, and it is said in the rule that if mag-una ang apostrophe sa S kay we're going to disregard the apostrophe. For example, this one, Powers Engraving Company. So it is S followed by apostrophe. So we are only going to copy the powers apostrophe. Rule number 14, numbers. A number is a name is regarded as true written in words, and the entire number is indexed as one unit. In this rule, the number should be indexed unit into words. So, for example, 96 Straight Warehouse. So, the number 96 we are going to spell in correct indexing arrangement is we are going to spell it out. 96 Street Warehouse. The 3 art club. So, the number 3, we are going to write it in a word. Rule number 15, addresses. When identical names appears with different addresses, the correct indexing arrangement is it should be alphabetized according to city or town, and when identical names with different address with the same city, the name are arranged alphabetically. For example, Harris and Company, Ainsworth, Nebraska. So Harris is surname of the owner of the company, and the Nebraska is the what do you call this city. Rule number 16, bank names. In indexing bank names, name of the bank should be in the first unit, followed by the name of the, and in writing cards or folders, the name of the state or country should be in a parenthesis. So, for example, First National Bank, Columbus, Georgia. Columbus is the yes. Columbus is the name, then followed by the name of the bank, and last unit should be the bank names. Rule number 17, government names. Government names are indexed and filed first under the name of the government. For example, United States government, and then in the following order, name or title of department, bureau, division, commissions on abroad. When indexing the government names, it is filed first with name of the government followed by the department. So, for example, Metropolitan Cebu Water District. The name of the government is Metropolitan Cebu, and these are the correct indexing arrangement of government names. So, Rule number 18, other political divisions. Names pertaining to other political divisions such as states, countries, cities, or town are indexed and filed under the names of the political divisions, and then in the following order, title of the department, bureau, divisions, commissions, or board. So the correct indexing of other political divisions is, for example, Department of Education, University of Cebu. We are going to put the cities or the countries in the Unit 1, followed by the university or commissions, and lastly is the education department of, so this one, Department of Electricity, City of St. Paul, St. Paul City Electricity Department of